And welcome to the closing ceremony. Please find your seats and make yourselves comfortable. I'm very sorry to interrupt all the free-flowing conversations I was hearing. Yeah, good to see. So, yeah, welcome back to some sort of normalcy after the 64 hours of hacking and a good amount of evaluation. Before we move forward, let's take a moment to recap these past few days. And here's a look at some of the highlights from natHACKS 2024. Very anticlimactic, but we have some action shots. Basically, everyone is exhausted, but hopefully, we are all feeling nonetheless encouraged by the environment and culture that we've created here the past few days. A little bit of stank at times, but yeah. So, thank you all for bringing your energy and creativity to natHACKS this year for the 4th annual, and for making this such an amazing event. Over the past few days, we turned some really strange ideas, some stranger than others, into reality in varying degrees. And it's been really incredible to watch. To end off this hackathon, I'd like to welcome Janice Baskin to the stage for tonight's keynote. Janice represents the Edmonton Regional Innovation Network, a key supporter of this natHACKS. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Janice.
Thank you.
Everything's falling apart.
We're all falling apart. We are not. We're good. Okay, I'm not a stand behind a lectern and talk kind of person because that feels weird to me. So I'm just starting a timer because I will talk forever. So thank you, Eden. Thank you to NeurAlbertaTech for putting on this incredible event. And as I mentioned on Thursday night when I was here for the opening ceremonies, the Edmonton Regional Innovation Network has sponsored this event for the last 4 years. And we are really proud to play just a small part in what it is that happens over the ingenuity and the determination and sort of the dedication that happens with these hackathons. So thank you so much for all the work to Nat and the folks and the volunteers for putting on this incredible event for the ecosystem. And how are the rest of you doing? We've got some thumbs up. I heard someone say, I'm going home, I'm exhausted. I asked Eden if he'd slept. He was like, not really. But I hope that regardless of how you're kind of feeling right now in this moment, that you are able to take some time. And I think that we should all take the time to recognize the achievement of the last 64 hours. Because make no mistake about it, you have truly done something extraordinary. And again, we're just so proud to have been a small part in that. So what I wanted to talk with you tonight about, to close off natHACKS, is I want to revisit a little bit about what Dr. Fast said on Thursday night during the opening ceremonies, and I want to build on it. And for those of you who weren't there on Thursday night, and for those of you who Thursday feels like a lifetime ago, I will sort of give you a little recap. So Darren Fast from the university here, he talked about innovation. he started off by giving a definition of innovation. And he said that innovation is doing something new that creates value. Great. Simple, easy definition to remember. Then what he did was he talked about the ecosystem. And so he put a slide up, and it showed the cycle of the ecosystem, a biological ecosystem, right? And he talked about how all of the players within that ecosystem are responsible for their own part. And when that happens, when everybody does what they are supposed to do, the ecosystem is sustainable. And so he talked about consumers and producers, decomposers, inorganic matter, the energy source, right? And he had a nice visual about how it was all works in a nice big circle. So we have innovation and we have an ecosystem. We have an innovation ecosystem. And then he talked a little bit about the University of Alberta and what the work that they do here to help foster some of the growth and some of the support within that innovation ecosystem. And I want to tell you that the U of A is world-class in the way that it goes about supporting the innovation ecosystem. And I honestly think the U of A has so many programs to support the innovation ecosystem that they don't even know what programs they have anymore. I meet student groups all the time that are doing incredible things, staff and faculty. So know that wherever you chose to take your journey throughout your time here at the U of A, you will be well supported. And the other thing I want you to know is that the University of Alberta is a part of a much larger innovation ecosystem that exists outside of Edmonton, or in Edmonton. And so outside of the walls of this university, we have government agencies and service providers and private companies. We have investment firms, and we have other grassroots initiatives, just like NeurAlbertaTech. Yes, NAT, we'll go with NAT. Just like NAT, that work together in order to create the sustainable, thriving innovation ecosystem. But I want to back up just a little bit. So innovation ecosystem is a bit of a buzzword, and Eden alluded to this the other night, right? We talk about this innovation ecosystem, and it is a shared language that we use all the time. You're going to hear people saying this all the time. But what does it actually mean? And so I'm actually not from the innovation ecosystem. I have a background in social science and entrepreneurship. And so just a little under a year ago, I was in a Google Meet with 5 interviewers from the Edmonton Regional Innovation Network. And Reza, one of your judges tonight, was actually in that room. And those 5 interviewers were asking me questions as I was applying for this position. And all of them, at some point, said the words innovation ecosystem. And in my brain, I'm going, I understand conceptually what an ecosystem is. And I can, delineate what it is that they're saying, but I was curious, why that word? Why ecosystem? Why don't we use why isn't the word an innovation community or the innovation sector? Like, it was really specific, and it was obvious to me that all of them had this shared language around ecosystem. And so at the end of the interview, as they always do at interviews, they say, "Do you have any questions for us?" And I said, yes. As a matter of fact, I want to know, and Reza, do you remember this? Yeah, I said, I want to know why we're using this word ecosystem. What does that mean? And the chair of the steering committee at that time, he said, well, we think of the innovation space as an ecosystem because not only is it important that everybody play their own part, but there needs to be balance. There needs to be a set of guiding principles that bring everything together so that it can be sustainable. And when that balance is disrupted, it threatens the ecosystem. And I really liked that answer. I thought it was really helpful for me. And so I started to look a little bit more, because he did mention guiding principles. And So I got curious. I was like, okay, so we have this ecosystem. What are the guiding principles of this ecosystem? And there's lots of books that have been written about this, and there's websites, and this is Googleable information. But there are a few things that are kind of common themes when they talk about some of the guiding principles of an innovation ecosystem. Pardon me. Things like you need to build a culture of trust. You need to have diversity, diversity in thought, in background, and in expertise. You need to work with a collaborative mindset. There has to be tolerance for risk and failure. There has to be decentralization and some form of self-organization, space for that. There needs to be leadership. And my personal favorite is that we all need to work together towards a common purpose. I see some nods in the room. So these are some of those principles of the ecosystem. But I still wanted to know, what does that mean? So when we talk, we hear words like diversity and collaboration and leadership. Those are things that companies put in mission statements or they have written on the wall behind the secretary when you walk into their head office. But what does it mean? Where are the tangible steps or the things that you can actually do to work within your place in that ecosystem? And so recently, during Startup Week, I got a bit of an answer, and I've been thinking a lot about this. So Startup Week, has everyone had an opportunity? We all know what Startup Week is? Ish? I see a few nods. People are falling asleep. I get it. So Startup Week, every year in October, Edmonton hosts Startup Week. If you haven't experienced it, I highly recommend you do. This year was my first time. Incredible experience. Celebration of all things startup in Edmonton. And so during Startup Week, we had a keynote speaker. His name was Chris Hively. Chris is the founder of a company called MapQuest, which many of you might know what it is, but you're probably too young to have actually experienced it. And for me, MapQuest was what I used when I was your age. Going to the U of A, country bumpkin from a small town in Saskatchewan, MapQuest is what I used to learn to get around the city. And I'm going to tell you, I still remember the first time I used it. It like blew my mind. Anyway, Chris Hively was the keynote speaker at Startup Week. And he said something in his keynote speech that I think will stick with me probably forever. And it's something that is so powerful that I think we need to have it put like on a sign, and then large corporations and government organizations should plaster it on their wall rather than these, buzzwords. And he said, you do not build ecosystems from a boardroom. And that was really powerful for me, because what that means to me is that to be sustainable as an ecosystem is one thing, but to be thriving, it cannot be a top-down mandate. It has to come from people actually, boots on the ground, showing up. And that looks different for everybody. So I'm going to give you a really simple example that I think will resonate with all of you. Eden, can I pick on you for a second? Okay. So it's 2018. What were you doing you were a student? Yeah. Okay. So Eden's a student in 2018, and he says, I'm seeing a gap. And you talked about this Thursday night. You saw a gap in the neurotechnology space. And you mentioned 3 things. I didn't have a chance to write them all down. But he saw this gap. And so I'm assuming at some point you went, well, nobody's doing anything about this, so I'm just going to do something about it. And you maybe gathered some friends and talked to them about your idea, and you started NAT. Is that kind of how it happened? More or less, okay. Had you ever done anything like that before? Nope. Did you know what you were doing? No. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Right? So Eden and the people that he gathered around showed up. They went, we see a need, we're just going to take care of it. We don't know what we're doing, but we're going to give it a shot. Now, the Edmonton Regional Innovation Network, the ERIN, we have a mandate to be continuously surveying the ecosystem for gaps. Gaps is another key word. That's for another episode because it's a whole other big thing. But we look to address those gaps in a number of ways, and one of those ways is by funding community-led initiatives that fill those gaps. And so we show up, and when I say we, it's not just me. It's 30+ volunteers who take time out of their busy days as entrepreneurs or service providers or whatever it is that they do to show up and make some decisions around where are we going to give our time and some of this funding. And so NeurAlbertaTech applies for a community initiatives grant. The ERIN supplies that grant, plus many other people come together. Many other people show up for something like this, right? There's a whole team of people who have been working really tirelessly over the weekend. We had folks from Edmonton Unlimited come out. They were helping to do some of the mentorship and the coaching over the weekend. I saw, Technology Alberta and Bio Alberta. So there are all these other players who showed up to make this happen. And you could take it one step beyond there, right? So we have Alberta Innovates, which funds the Edmonton Regional Innovation Network. So at some point in history, Alberta Innovates, which was probably not called Alberta Innovates at the time, said, you know what, we see a need in these different regions, in these different communities, for community-led programs and services. And we're not going to sit in a boardroom and make that decision. We're going to put these decisions in the hands of the community, and they create the regional innovation networks. And there are 8 of us across the province. So you can see how we went in Alberta Innovates, sees a need, they show up. The ERIN sees a need, we show up. NAT sees a need, they show up. Pretty awesome, right? Yeah, okay, thanks. Thanks, that one person. But here's the thing. None of this, not a single minute, second, dollar of it matters without you. Without you folks showing up to this event. You had other options. This is your break from school, right? Like this is a vacation week. So you could have done any number of things. You could have gone to visit family. You could have gone on a vacation to Banff. You could have gone to the bar. You could have stayed at home with Takis and Mountain Dew and played Doom for 64 hours. But for whatever reason, you came here. You showed up to participate in natHACKS. So without all of you making that decision, our delicate balance probably would have been disrupted quite significantly, because if you don't show up, then maybe the folks at NAT go, well, geez, we put all this time and effort into it, like nobody showed up. And then the Edmonton Regional Innovation Network goes, well, there was no impact, there was no participants, we're not going to fund this again. And then maybe Alberta Innovates goes, well, I don't know, maybe these regional innovation networks don't have their finger on the pulse of what's needed in the community. Maybe that's a failed experiment too. So you see where I'm going with this. So what I want you to know and what I want to really leave you with, because this question gets asked and it's discussed time and time again, what do we need to build a thriving ecosystem? We need exactly what it is that happened here this weekend. We need people to show up over a common purpose, to work collaboratively, using all of their diverse backgrounds and knowledge bases. I'm willing to bet that some of you took some risks and maybe even failed this weekend. I'm willing to bet that some leadership emerged. Some of you developed some of those skills. Maybe some of you found leadership in somebody else, mentorship, right? So what happened here was a perfect example of what needs to happen for an ecosystem to thrive. And that is truly incredible and it's amazing. So I would like you, as wherever you go from here, back to class, if you decide to stay in the innovation space ecosystem, if you decide to move on to something different, I want you to know, number one, that just by showing up here this weekend and participating, and this goes for our judges, this goes for the folks from NAT, just by doing that, you have left your mark on the Edmonton innovation ecosystem. So I want to thank you for that. And second of all, I want you to know that if you do decide to continue on this path, whether it be through entrepreneurship or working for a private company, there is an entire ecosystem full of players who are just waiting for you to show up. And if you do that, we'll do that. And that's how it all comes together. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the work that you've put in this weekend. And I truly hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. That was surprisingly refreshing. Yeah, wasn't expecting that tone, but I think it sets a good precedence. Often within the institutions we inhabit, it's can be unclear what our individual role within that can play. But I think it's within each of us to create these non-zero sum spaces where ideas off the beaten track can flourish, even if that means letting them fail and be thrown on the rocks of reality. Yeah, so thank you for doing that with us. Now, we'll move on to announcing the winners. What you've actually all been waiting for. Not hearing me rant. First off, we have the standard division within the rehabilitation track. And announcing, we have Yash, who's NAT's Director of Web at NAT, and he's also the natHACKS co-president for this year.
Thanks, Eden. The rehabilitation track this year had some great projects, and we had teams try new things, explore life-changing solutions, and push the boundaries of what is possible. So without further ado, I'm going to be announcing the winners for the rehabilitation track for natHACKS 2024. In the second place is team number 31, Neuronauts. Please find your way to the stage. And now, in first position, drum roll, we have team number 9, Hack the Nat. Round of applause. Congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you, Yash. Now presenting for the standard division. Pardon? Yeah. In the research track, we have Riddick, who is also the co-natHACKS president. You can click it.
Okay. Good to know. All right, thanks, Eden. The research track, my personal favorite, had some of the most innovative and thoughtful projects I've seen since last year. I hope everyone enjoyed. Winners or not, it's all part of the game. If not this year, then next year. We are not, and we are all in this together. Now, on to the winners. Second place for the Standard Division Research Track goes to, wouldn't you want to know? All right, it's team number 38, named IDK. Ooh, the fun time. All right, for the first place, we have team number 37, Nat Runners. Congratulations. Once again, thank you all for participating, and congratulations to the winners. I'm passing it out to Eden.
Thank you, Riddick, for that. All right. For the junior teams who did some fantastic work this year, despite being their first hackathon. Could we have some cheers for all those teams? The ones who are all the more afraid of this weird space. And I'm going to pass this off to Namish to present. So please welcome Namish, our wellness coordinator.
Thanks, Eden. The junior teams this year did a wonderful work, starting up, staying awake overnight. And we had some very good and innovative projects this year. Amongst them, the team that won the junior track this year is Team 12, Monkey Brains. Congratulations, and there's always a next year for the other teams.
And Namish left his phone for me up here. Well, it's mine now. But yes, thank you, Namish. For our next award, we have presenting Kashish. Kashish is our Director of Education, of Events at Nat. Yeah, my vision is totally not blurry at this point. So Kashish, please come up and announce the third place winner in the Problem Provider Division.
I think I just got promoted to education and events now, so win for me today. But yeah, I don't know about winning or losing, but I'm pretty sure that you guys are doing university correct, because that's not how my weekends looked like when I was in university. So good job on that. And yeah, without further ado, the third place for the Problem Provider Division goes to team number 3, Sense Aid. Come up on the stage, guys. Congratulations to the winners. And over to Eden again.
This is just a running gag at this point. All right. Next, announcing the second place in the Problem Provider Division, we have none other than Sachi Gupta. I forgot last names existed. She is Nat's co-director of hardware And yeah, she was stuck in that corner for the past few days. So yeah.
Thank you, Eden. Okay, so the problem provider division showcased some truly innovative work this year. So the second place winner of problem provider division is team number 40, Neuromedics. Please come up to stage.
Thank you, Sachi. And now to present the first place award for the problem provider division, we have Kyle, who's actually been handing out all of the awards for realsies this whole time. He is our director of HR. And here you are.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Eden. Thank you. I just want to start by saying it's been an honor and a pleasure to be the director of HR for this hackathon, and to also be a judge and be able to present the final reward for tonight. So
He does it all.
So without further ado, I will present the first prize for Problem Provider Division, team number 1, NeurAlbertaTech score. Is it okay?
Get out of here. All right. So congratulations to all of our winning teams, and thank you for your hard work and dedication over the past several days. Y'all crazy. Yeah, we're excited to see how of the winning teams, as well as other ones that just didn't quite make the cut for whatever reason, how you'll continue to develop these ideas. And we, as an organization, are here to support you, as well as a range of our other lovely sponsors and partners. So looking ahead, winning teams will have access to seed funding to continue developing their projects, which can be claimed within the next 12 months, a year. And then beyond funding, we do actually have some more concrete routes of being able to get in-kind support. That's compute resources, legal services, business mentorship, infrastructure support, pretty much anything you could think of. We also are grassroots and have lots of connections to different academic institutes. Yeah, so introductions, all that stuff. And then before we close, I want to express our gratitude to everyone who made this event possible, to all of our partners, judges, mentors who put in some ridiculous hours, some of them, here for like the majority of the 64 hours. That's pretty wild. Yeah, and just to have all of this commingling, the willingness of people outside of comp sci and engineering. There was a much bigger proportion this year, and I think a lot of the projects benefited from that. So people who are from those different silos being willing to try to tread at least one toe outside. And then a big thank you to the full organizing team, admin, and volunteers. It takes an army, and your hard work and late nights was the lifeblood of this event. So thank you to my team for the dedication and going above and beyond repeatedly to make this weekend a success. So you are natHACKS. Oh man, that was cheesy. It was bolded, so I had to say it. Yep, and with that, we officially close natHACKS 2024. Thank you. Whoop.
We had the admin tournament right yesterday, so we had prizes for that as well. Ooh. Yeah, so we hope that all of you will stay involved with NAT and our year-round programs involving neurotech education. We are really trying our darndest to bring the cutting-edge neurotech out of the research laboratories and trying to translate that and equip a much bigger volume of people to be working on the edge of these emerging technologies. So we pour a lot of effort into those initiatives. We also welcome community members who are in the neurotech and adjacent spaces through our Nat Chat series. Yeah, and then we also have a newsletter, which I'm plugging. If you want to be looped into all that. And I will pass off Namish for closing sentiments. Hi. So we had an admin tournament yesterday for Mario Kart. So we had the winner, the best of the best. It's none other than the director of HR, Kyle himself. Could we have him up on the stage?
Sure. Okay, let's. Oh wow, this has got weight to it. What is this? Drink with love and joy. Stainless steel tumbler.
I can hold that for you.
Okay. Tech support checklist. Is it plugged in? Is it turned on? Are you sure? Seriously, go check. Oh, that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nah. Handshakes are for acquaintances.
Just before we go, we have one more. We can have a picture together. Yes.
So actually we had another prize for the ultimate loser of the tournament, the co-director of hardware, Sachi, but the gift kind of got delayed with the shipping.
We have them on the screens.
I will make sure to personally deliver it to her.
Can you just add it on the slide? Or just show me. Yes, please. I am not sure if it's visible, but this would be the prize. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine.
It's fine, I guess.
Okay, fine then. Okay.
Guys, picture.
Sorry?
Picture? Oh, I guess. It looks like I'm having a. You're giving me a phone. Well.
Thank you.
And with that, we close natHACKS 2024.